cracking. This part of section. March list of competition balls by that action. You can never debate it. This is actual fact. Stephen A. and Max Scales, so they say it's a rap. You like, say what? Say what? What's up with all my haters? I'm on when I perform. So my jersey's in the air. I'm allergic to my haters. Every morning I put player. Let the clothes I can wear just like them Oregon players. Yeah, quack, quack. What it do? Rap like it's nothing to it. Matter of fact, you can ask hard and I'm cooking too. Bass dog cooking too. Nah, look at you. Great mind. They embrace mine like a crooked too. 4 takes. That's you. 3 takes. Not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take. Stop me. 4 takes. That's you.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome into First Take. Hope you all had a great weekend. Appreciate you being with us. Your boy. He's back. No more panic. Stephen A. in the building. I'm Molly Karam, and we welcome the newest member. We are so fired up of the First Take family here, Max Kellerman. So good to have you.
Very much. Let me just say, let's get it on.
Yes.
Bill's lane.
All right, let's get into it. Coming up on the show, make sure you stay tuned for the guys talking Derrick Rose's super team in New York. You will not want to miss that. Like Max said, a lot to discuss. Let's get into it. We tip things off, of course, with Kevin Durant. KD has been a very busy man since Stephen A's last show. So here's what went down. He decided to leave the Thunder for the Warriors, talked about why he didn't leave his bed for a couple days after the decision, said he almost went to the Celtics because of one Tom Brady, and that he doesn't care if he is not liked. Then Sunday, Durant and Draymond Green were booed by the sellout crowd at Staples Center before Team USA's 106-57 win over China. However, Durant was unaware of the jeering. Stephen A., your thoughts on KD? I've been waiting a while to hear this. Going to the Warriors.
First of all, let me say this. I'll preface my comments. Welcome to the show, my man. Happy to have you. You know that. Look, I waited a long time to get into this about Kevin Durant because there have been so many misnomers that have been thrown out there. Let me be the first to say, before I say anything else, Kevin Durant is a great basketball player. He's one of the top 3 players in the world, and he's a great person. Okay, this is not to excoriate him the way a lot of people took it to another level over the last several weeks, and I think that was totally wrong. I have no problem with Kevin Durant leaving Oklahoma City. I have no problem if he had gone to San Antonio, Miami, New York, or someplace like that. All of these folks, including my friends Charles Barkley and Reggie Miller, getting on him because they believe that you should have stayed with the team, the championship contender that you were on, where you spent 9 years. That's where you should have stayed. I'm going to flow with my boy Chris Rock when he got on the phone and told me, look, you can order sushi in San Francisco at 4 in the morning. You damn sure can't do that in Oklahoma City. We get all that. Here's my problem with Kevin Durant's decision, just to refresh everybody's memory. My issue is you went to the team who beat you. That's my problem. When I think about competition, competitive fervor, what it's supposed to epitomize. If you had knocked off Golden State, I have no problem with you leaving. If you had beaten them. But when you are up 3-1, and not once, not twice, but 3 different times, you are 48 minutes away from a berth to the NBA Finals, knocking off a 73-9 team. And on top of it all, not only do you fail to do so, but you come up short yourself in Game 6. When you come out there, you don't resemble who you are. You don't resemble who we know you to be. You rushing shots. You taking ill-advised shots. You shoot 1 on 2, 1 on 3. You just seem to be completely not yourself. And then you couple that with the fact that you turned over the ball 6 times in the last 8 possessions. And then you quadruple that by going 0-3 with 6 turnovers in the last couple of minutes. You lose that game. You lose that series. You lose to that team. And they are the ones you go to? And then we find out that all along Draymond Green has been recruiting you? And that, periodically throughout the season you're sending one another texts and all of this other stuff. I mean, who was it that was going up against Golden State over those last 3 games? That's what I'm saying. That's my problem. Now, certainly I'm not going to sit up there and cast aspersions on the character of Kevin Durant in terms of whether he was trying to beat him or not, because we all know he was trying to beat him, okay? This is Kevin Durant, who we're talking about here. Let's pump the brakes on that, on those notions. But I'm just saying, damn, you're Kevin Durant? You're one of the top 3 players in the world. Your teammate is one of the top 5 players in the world. And you leave to go to the team that beats you. That, to me, is the story that's gotten lost in all of this. Everybody's sweating that he left OKC. OKC, get over it, okay? It's life. This happens. You know, I don't think he should have left in terms of there being a championship contender, but that's not the real issue. The real issue is Kevin Durant decided to go to join the team that beat him rather than be hell-bent on competing with them once again. That is my issue, Max. That is where I stand, and my position hasn't changed one iota since July 4th.
Stephen A., you don't miss much, but you missed this one.
What?
This is what you miss in all of this. Had the Warriors won the championship, then Kevin Durant could not go to the Warriors. I would be killing him right now. I'd be killing him.
Okay.
You can't go to a 73-win, all-time winningest team, beat the Chicago Bulls record, back-to-back defending championship team looking for a three-peat. You can't do that if you're Durant, because the idea of winning championships is that it illuminates your greatness somehow. Mm-hmm. It proves that you can be in the nucleus, one of the best players on a championship team. It elevates your position in history. Had Durant done that, that would be reverse engineering his greatness. Okay. That would be joining a champion and therefore, you know, just because you win a championship, saying that that has somehow had something to do with you. However, they lost. They lost to LeBron James, who is not the LeBron James who choked away four consecutive fourth quarters against Dallas in Miami. That was a kid. This guy is in his prime. Maybe not physically anymore, maybe just past it, but overall in terms of his emotional understanding, intellectual understanding of the game, his basketball IQ, his calmness under pressure, his ability when he falls on his wrist when Draymond fouls him at the end of Game 7 in the fourth quarter with you know, all he needs to do is hit one free throw and they ice the finals, and he misses the first one because of the wrist, makes adjustments and ices the game with the next one. That LeBron James, if you shoot at the king, you best not miss. And Kevin Durant recognized on the Oklahoma City Thunder, he recognized that while it's actually a more talented team than the Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant was on the most talented team in basketball last year. They had the most talent. They lost to a less talented team that played the right way, that played in a way when he was watching them, where he has to be thinking, why am I dealing with this whole issue of who's going to take the last shot and how much should everyone touch it, when on that team, you know who takes the last shot? The open man. Let me go to that team. They play the right way. They play the way I want to play. And the fact that they didn't win the championship allows that to happen. I think he made the best possible choice.
Hold it. Max Kellerman? Am I hearing you correctly? Are you sitting across from me saying that on your first show, the very first segment of the first show, you're sitting here saying you have no problem whatsoever with Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors?
No problem.
Oh, my God. I can't believe this.
No problem.
Really?
Did they win the whole thing?
No.
They didn't win the whole thing.
Listen.
The Warriors lost to LeBron James.
Okay.
So this is, okay, they lost in the conference finals, the Thunder did to the Warriors. Years from now, conference finals, no one cares years from now.
Can I get real? They did lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. I do get that. And nobody is taking anything away from the stud that is LeBron James, who, I mean, all of us just need to shut the hell up about him. It's over.
It's his world.
It's his world. We all just living in it, okay? Kyrie Irving, too.
Steph Curry, too.
Showed up.
Kevin Durant, too. And Steph Curry and Kevin Durant don't want to live in LeBron James's world anymore.
I feel you on that, but here's the flip side to this. Draymond Green gets suspended for Game 5. Andrew Bogut gets suspended in Game 5. Andre Iguodala gets hurt in Game 6 and obviously is a bit hobbled for half of Game 6 and obviously all of Game 7, although he played. I guess what I'm saying to you is this. A legitimate argument could be made in the eyes of some critics that if the Golden State Warriors hadn't been assisted, if the Cleveland Cavaliers organization hadn't been assisted by the NBA in terms of suspending Draymond Green, and then injuries because of the ones Cleveland suffered.
Well, just go around hitting everyone below the belt.
All I'm trying to say to you is this. Well, that's a different subject for another day. Me personally, can you prove it, Tate? Can you prove it, Tate? But here's the point that I'm trying to make. In the end, what it comes down to is, look, If you are Kevin Durant, there are a multitude of places you could have gone. I do agree with your point that, again, had he won, then, oh, all right, that doesn't mean you get up and leave after winning to go and join them. I'm simply saying it would not have been viewed the way that it's been viewed because you would have been a champion. You would have knocked off these guys. So then you just decide that you want to go to a different place to live, and that is that. In this particular situation, it was one of those things where a legitimate argument could be made that Kevin Durant is thinking about the best way to beat LeBron James because he's a bit leery of his ability to pull that off.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And the idea that, well, it's a super team with Steph Curry. Look at, on paper, it's unfair. The NBA is so gangster. I mean, this is the way it's always been. The almost, with rare exception, once every decade a Pistons team wins or something like that. But the only teams that win are the teams where at the start of the season you look at the roster and you go, that's unfair. That's not even fair. How could they even play the season? Those are the only teams that win championships. And to Durant's credit, he may have enough humility to look at LeBron and say, I'm not there yet.
And you have no problem with this? And you have no problem with this?
Look.
None?
Look, when you brought up before, as Eddie Murphy told me, no, Eddie Murphy didn't tell me, but you brought up before the various excuses the Warriors have for having lost to the Cavs in the finals.
Okay.
You know, the first Bulls championship against the Lakers, the first Jordan championship, James Worthy gets hurt. No one cares about that now. What they look at is who won the championship. LeBron actually was the first in this era to recognize that when he went to Miami.
Right.
And Kevin Durant is actually looking at that saying, you know what, let me go to the best place for me.
Well, I appreciate your brilliance in bringing up a point and just segueing me right into the point that I really, really wanted to make. I despise that comparison between LeBron James going to South Beach and Kevin Durant going to Golden State. Let me educate some NBA folks out there about something. LeBron James going to Miami. What was Miami before LeBron James arrived? They were 47-35. They got bounced out in 5 games in the first round by the Boston Celtics. They were an average basketball team. Granted, both he and Chris Bosh joined D-Wade. It was supposed to be Melo, but that's a different subject for another day. Bosh and LeBron decided to go to South Beach and join D-Wade, so they came together. That's entirely different than Kevin Durant joining the 73-9 team, who, by the way, were the reigning defending NBA champions when he was up 3-1 on them and couldn't close the deal. Those are two different worlds. Then when you couple that with the fact that you just said, not me, I'm feigning ignorance. I'm feigning innocence and ignorance here. You, Max Kellerman, you're the dastardly individual that I've known you to be over the years, and I say that affectionately because I like dastardly. Here's the deal. You just finished saying Kevin Durant may have decided to do this because he's taken into account having to compete with LeBron James. I'm going to repeat this. He's one of the top 3 players on the planet. Kevin Durant is the real deal. If you are an average player or a second-tier player or supplementary piece, that would be different. But when you are the man, you are not supposed to be scared of going against the man.
You know what this era shows? This era shows that all of our preconceived ideas about what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to act, they don't apply so much anymore. In the first place, LeBron going to Miami